Good afternoon. I'm Dara Bunjon. I'm the food enthusiast here at More Living. I'm a food writer, food stylist, PR maven, and a frustrated baker. Those of you joining us live, drop your comments and questions for my guest or myself into the comment box, and you'll see me turn my head from time to check on that. Today's show should be titled Everything You Want to Know About Fruits and Veggies, but We're Afraid to Ask. Our guest is Robert Schueller, Director of Public Relations at Melissa's World Variety Produce, the largest distributor of specialty produce in the U.S. Robert has been given the title of Produce Expert among national consumer and trade publications and radio and television personalities. Schueller has given leading industry trend and marketing presentations at food events and trade conferences, including Disney World Epcot Food and Wine Festival, Culinary Institute of America in St. Helena, and has also co-authored 7 cookbooks. Let's bring in Robert.
Hey. Good to be a part of this, Dara. Thank you for having me on today.
I'm excited because I know I can tell by just our communications how enthusiastic you are about what you do and produce and fruit. Other than doing the show today, what else is on your plate?
Well, I'm an educator, so I spend most of my day communicating with the media about the exciting world of produce in America. At Melissa's here, we offer over 1,500 fruits and vegetables from around the world. So that's a lot of stories. So sometimes I talk people's ear off about everything they want to know about produce there. I'm also involved with a lot of the food shows and trade shows that we do throughout the year, and a lot of the marketing that is involved, whether it's with traditional media, social media, and today on your show is my highlight.
Oh, I thank you. Thank you. I'm just sitting here trying to get this up. Sometimes I forget how to do all the technology. So, from what I can tell, you graduated college, you went to work for Melissa's, and you've been there ever since. Did you come up the ranks? How did all this turn out for you?
Well, yes, I'm local to Los Angeles in a city called San Pedro. I went off to college not too far, actually Cal State Long Beach, and I still reside in San Pedro, but right when I was graduating 28 years ago, I saw a little tiny ad in the job tracker at my college, and it said, World Variety Produce. And, I knew I was destined to be in the food industry. And I went in for the interview with a family-owned company, Joe and Sharon Hernandez, one of the family members, Deborah Cohen, who offered me the job because I got my degree in marketing, and it was being the assistant to the marketing director. I thought that would be a great pathway in, but I since then have made my way up to a director, and I haven't looked back. And I love working for Melissa's because it's such an exciting, every day is exciting. I get to work and something new comes into season, or we're introducing a new fruit and vegetable into the United States for the first time, or we're introducing a new product line within the produce arena. So it's very exciting there, and everybody, they look at me every time they hear that I've been working at Melissa's for 28 years. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I think most people have seen Melissa's in your grocery stores. I'm going to just try to pull up.
Hatch peppers.
Yes, you sent me Hatch peppers. So since I'm holding it up, let's talk. It's Hatch season, and Hatch versus Anaheim. Can we talk about that?
Sure. First of all, the hatch season is one of our most exciting seasons of the year. Every year during the months of August and early September, we bring in the legendary Hatch chilies from Hatch, New Mexico. Because of the 6 to 8 week window, you have to act fast. So, Hatch chilies, what makes them so unique is the growing area. During the day, it's about 100 degrees in Hatch, New Mexico. And then at night, it gets down to like 60 degrees. So this chili is grown in an area that has harsh weather change from morning to night. And that's why these Hatch peppers are so meaty and thick. No other chili is this thick than these Hatch chili peppers. The also cool thing about them is they're available whether you're a chili aficionado, chili head, down to a person who's not, they don't like the burn. This is the neat thing. Hatch chilies come in mild, medium, hot, and extra hot. So whether you like them mild or hot, you're going to be able to enjoy the flavor and the meatiness of them as well. Now, you mentioned Anaheim chilies. Anaheim chilies look like the Hatch chilies, uh, almost like a twin. However, the Anaheim chili is the grandson of the Hatch chili. Hatch chilies are only seasonal. They're grown in Hatch, New Mexico. Anaheim chilies is a mild version of the Hatch, but it doesn't have the thick, meaty skin. Anaheim chilies, however, are grown on a year-round basis and are available year-round. But the ones from Hatch, New Mexico are only available for up to 8 weeks. So the neat thing about Hatch chilies right now is that you can go onto our site at melissas.com and see throughout the United States where Hatch chili roastings are going on. And so this is a great way to be able to get a whole case of the Hatch chilies roasted. They roast in like 5 minutes, because if you brought a case home, it would take you probably about 4 or 5 hours to roast 25 pounds of chilies in that respective time. So I encourage you to go to a Hatch chili roasting before it's all over.
Okay, so my question on it is, you were generous. I have 6 or 7 here. Oh, I have another question. How do you know by the look of the chili whether it's mild, medium, or hot, unless you test each one? How do you determine this one's hot, this one's mild?
This is very important. I get this question all the time. So the chilies on the outside look exactly the same, whether mild, medium, hot, or extra hot. The key is looking on the bag. It will tell you mild, medium, hot, or extra hot, or on the box. It's crossed off. See, the way in which they grow the chilies is that they grow them, each heat variety is grown in the size of football field. So the fields are X'd out for a particular variety and a particular heat level. And there's
So it,
several hundred varieties. It's it's the grower that has to be very careful to make sure that they put the mild hatch into a box or package that says mild.
okay. So I saw the best thing that I can do is I can char them, take off the
Correct.
skin, stick them in a Ziploc bag, and freeze
Correct.
it.
Yes, because when you get Hatch chilies, people traditionally buy them by the case, but you can buy them in 2 pound bags like you just showed. Um, you definitely want to roast them all the way until they look burnt and charred. The Hatch chilies, what makes them so cool is that they're really easy to peel once you char them. And so, it's almost impossible unless you're having a party to be able to eat 25 pounds, a whole case at a sitting. So what you do is you can put them in to the freezer. Make sure it's a Ziploc bag, and you put about a dozen in a Ziploc freezer bag, and that is so you can have them at a different time. So the careful thing to do is making sure that you don't put all the Hatch chilies into one bag, because once you take it out of the freezer, you got to use them all. So that's why you put about a dozen into the freezer. But the neat thing about Hatch chilies is you can freeze them for up to 2 years. No chili can withstand being in the freezer for more than a couple months. But hatch chilies, because they're so thick and meaty and flavorful, you can keep them in the freezer for almost 2 years.
I want to tell people that you can go to the website, which is melissas.com, and there are recipes there and how you would use these. I have a feeling we could probably spend about another 10 minutes on hatch chilies, but we're going to move along
Sure.
because you have sent me a great selection of fruit that is available now. And let's see, we were talking a little earlier, the mangosteens.
Ah,
And
yes.
these, what I had a problem with, first I thought I cut it up near the top and then I cut it in the middle. They really have a hard exterior.
Correct. There
Is
is
there
an
a
art to, yes. I'm going to tell you what's the easiest way to get into a mangosteen. First of all, Dara, if you didn't know, mangosteens are touted as the best tasting fruit in the world if you Google it. And back in the day, Queen Elizabeth, Queen Victoria used to actually knight people. The Queen used to knight people who brought these rare delicacies all the way from Asia to England to her. It was her favorite. So there's a very big historic background. However, it's a purple fruit. It has a leathery, kind of hard skin. What you do is you get a serrated knife, like a steak knife, and through the equator of the fruit, you score in about an eighth of an inch all the way around. When you do that, you can simply pop off the top and easily enjoy the white, textured, white, bright white fruit inside. It's one of the few fruits that have a white flesh inside. And anytime someone asks me, what does it taste like? There are so many flavors going on. It tastes exactly like a mangosteen. It has no relation to the mango, very different in flavor. There is, you compared it earlier, kind of a lychee-like texture, but
right?
it's got the most interesting and most concentrated flavors in them. If you've never had a mangosteen, put that on your bucket list because those are delicious and available from Melissa's.
Okay. When we first started talking, around the same time, you were involved with specialty pineapples. Now, you sent me a pink pineapple, and folks, I have, it comes in like this, and we're going to see if you can see the pink. Where are we? You can sort of get it. And the pink has nothing to touch the ruby pineapple. Ruby Glow pineapple costs $400 a pineapple. You want to fill us in?
Sure. Okay. So you were just holding up the pink glow pineapple. We introduced this fruit with the major grower. I think everybody knows who Del Monte is. Back in 2019, pineapples, especially from Del Monte, are known out of Costa Rica. Now, the pink pineapple, it was the first introduction in 2019, and it was an overnight sensation. To this day, the pink pineapples are found in produce departments across the country on a year-round basis. I remember when we first got them, and the pink pineapples, because they were so rare and new, they were $50 each. But over time, they have come down in price. They're still a little pricey in comparison to a regular pineapple, but still, they are considered hard to find and a more rare experience when you go into your local produce department. Most pink pineapples cost about 15 to 20 some dollars, depending on the size. Now, Dara, you brought up another new pineapple, but we introduced it back in April, May of this year of 2024. Hence the introduction of the Ruby Glow pineapple. This is a pineapple that is red on the outside. Del Monte, again, is the grower of them, the only grower. They do grow in Costa Rica, but they are more limited and more rare than the pink pineapple ever was. The initial price that was introduced into the marketplace when they became available was $400. Yes, $395.99. You can actually go to Melissa's website and get on the list to get your hands on one. Unfortunately, what happened was is when we first introduced it, and the story is called the $400 pineapple if you Google it, because it was one of the biggest food stories in America back in the springtime. What happened was the article ran in CNN because they couldn't believe it. I spoke with them. I told them all about these Ruby Glow pineapples and what makes them so special, rare, new, and very limited. When I say limited, we only had our hands on it less than 100. When the article hit out, we had less than 30 left, and they were already selling because of the publicity that happened. Well, after CNN ran the story and it went everywhere, we ended up selling out in 2.5 days. It just happened so fast, and now everybody wants to get their hands on them. And this is the good news: we're going to have them available in just the next few weeks.
At what price?
Same price. And again, this is the second picking, and this is one of two pickings. And it looks like we're only going to have about 100 again, making it not only the newest fruit again this year, but the rarest fruit.
So I've tasted the pink, and it tastes like pineapple. I can't say I taste, I cut a sliver. Does the ruby taste any different, or it's just the fact that it's red?
Okay, so the pink pineapple that you're enjoying there, we've been, when we introduced it, we got so many comments about it because it has no acidity to it. So people who don't like pineapple because it burns their mouth, you can eat a pink pineapple and that's not going to happen. So the pink pineapple, when you get into it, Dara, you'll notice that it's no acid. It's just super sweet. Now, the Ruby Glow pineapple, it's red on the outside, it's gold on the inside. It does have acidity to it and it has sweetness. It's a unique flavor to a pineapple and probably the best tasting pineapple you'll ever have. But it does have a little acid. But, like many things that are available out in the marketplace, it is truly a rare experience. I mean, like, let's say, for instance, I have a Toyota RAV4. That's the type of car that I like. But there's people out there who like to buy Bugattis, Lamborghinis, and Ferraris, and that is what the Ruby Glow pineapple offers from a culinary perspective.
Well, you also had luxury melons, the Tierra melon, the one melon that's $150 each.
Correct, the crown melon.
We sort of talked before coming on air, and I said, I remember my first experience with sort of exotic fruits, and this is really going back in the 80s to kiwi. Those little fuzzy brown thing that you open up green and has little seeds in it. And then in recent years, I've seen golden kiwi. Another exotic fruit was star fruit. Come a long way, I guess, from there. We're always hunting for, as a food person, that new flavor, that new texture, that new something new to excite our palate. You sent me so much. I have to wait because it's not ripe. The chirimoya. And you said to leave it out on the counter, let it get dark, and you want it soft. And the chirimoya is also called a custard apple, and it comes from Chile. Do you have a story behind the cherimola?
Yes, actually, the cherimoya is one of the exciting fruits that it's just like what I would compare the mangosteen to, in that it's one of those fruits that only a few people know about. And if you really knew about this fruit, it would probably be in your top fruit overall. It's actually in my top five. And yeah, I guess to this day you would still consider it a specialty and a luxury because, yes, they do cost a little bit more than your average orange or apple, but you're going to get a high end, flavorful. It's gonna give you an experience like you're on a tropical island there. The cherimoya is, it looks like a big green grenade, Dara, that you were holding up there. When it ripens up, it turns kind of a darkish, grayish, blackish brown. So when they're green, they're usually rock hard. Just got to keep your produce, your fruits like cherimoyas, out on your counter for about 3 to 4 days at room temperature. When you smell the aroma, then you know that it's ripe and ready to go. When you cut into this fruit, it is another one of those fruits that are white flesh, completely creamy white, and they have black seeds. So the edible part is the white flesh on the inside. I would describe to it, for older generations, they would understand. It has a tutti frutti flavor. I don't know if you remember tutti frutti ice cream. It
I would like
has
to say I don't, but I do.
Okay, so it has all the flavors of what you would encompass tropical fruit has. It has a guava. It has the texture of like a lychee or a mangosteen. It's soft and it's simply delicious. But one thing that is common to all these, because you're talking about these luxury fruit items, is that you're going to get a rare experience because most often than not, they're imported from around the world. They're harder to find. In other words, you can't find them in every store across the country. So they might be considered more rare than your typical carrot or apple. And they might be a little bit more pricey. But the thing is that the flavor profile and the experience with them, they might become your next new favorite fruit. And I'd like to bring up some of the other varieties of these luxury fruits that are newer to the United States. One is, and I remember sending you one, Dara, is that golden elephant mango. Go
Okay,
ahead and hold that up.
okay.
Yes,
Well, first of all, I want to hold up a regular mango. Here we go.
yes.
There we go.
Okay, so now introducing the new golden elephant mangoes, exclusively available at Melissa's. This is the newest fruit to the United States. Yes, it is extremely rare because we've only had it for less than a few weeks. They do cost a little bit more, but look at the size. Uh, they're about 3 to 4 times bigger than a regular mango. So this is a mango that if you have a good sized family that you can share with everyone. You don't have to, you won't be able to eat the whole mango at one sitting alone, but it's a sharing mango. But it offers such a creamy texture. So it's a fiberless variety. You won't get mango mouth. And
Okay.
the flavor is so strong and intense for anybody who loves a good mango. For many people, mango might be their favorite fruit. Um, this is a fruit you cannot pass up. It actually is a reminder of another variety that we actually import them in from Vietnam. Is the pink elephant mango. It's pink skin. It's the same size and offers that flavor, that deep mango flavor that you're looking for in a good tasting mango.
Yeah, I just want to say that Faye Levy is leaving comments, and we mentioned her name. I had worked with her years ago. She was in Baltimore and she had a cookbook out, and she does a lot of work for Melissa's, I think, in recipe development. And she and her husband, I think, have a pretty big garden. Am I, Faye? I hope I'm right. I follow you on Facebook, so hopefully I'm up to date. But you were mentioned before going on air, and it's good to hear from you again. The You mentioned your top five fruits. What are they?
Um, well, a lot of them are in the luxury fruit category, meaning that they're rare and harder to find. Definitely the pink glow pineapple, definitely the mangosteen, definitely the lychee, definitely the cherimoya, and my last favorite one is the feijoa. The feijoa is the pineapple guava. The
Okay.
season's going to start back up, and believe it or not, we actually not only import it in from New Zealand, but we also grow it here in California as well. So Melissa's has always been a company who's tried to make produce available on a year-round basis. Sometimes Mother Nature doesn't dictate that, but when a produce item really catches on and becomes very popular, as Melissa's has been doing this for over 40 years and bringing
Right.
the newest and the most unusual fruits and vegetables to the marketplace there. Um, it's good to know that you're able to accessibly find Melissa's produce because we actually distribute produce into most major supermarkets across the country in all 50 states and Canada. And we try to make produce available on a year-round basis. We haven't gotten there yet, but we're working on it. And we're always just trying to bring in new and exciting fruit flavors from around the world. Whether you're visiting or on vacation and enjoy the local fruit of that country, and then come back here in the United States and say, "Hey, whoa, Melissa carries it," and I'm excited about that because that experience when you're trying a new fruit or vegetable in another country and then able to kind of relive that experience when on vacation of trying that fruit or vegetable when you get back here in the States.
Right. You sent me rhubarb.
Yes.
Lots of rhubarb.
First of all, most people think it's a fruit. It's actually a vegetable. Doesn't it look like red celery? And the
Yes.
reason why I sent it to you is because all spring and summer has been domestic product. I sent it to you because usually come September-ish, the season ends domestically and it's very hard to find. We do import it in from Holland, but it's very pricey. So this is your time to get rhubarb. Rhubarb is one of my favorite vegetables because it's not only seasonal, but it's very easy to work with and it pairs so well with berries like strawberries and raspberries and blackberries. And Dara, I'm going to give you my tip, my culinary tip, because I'm the chef at home here. And this is the most easiest and best thing to do with rhubarb. Of course, rhubarb is always popular in pies and tarts and desserts. However, what I do is I take the rhubarb, wash it off like I do every fruit and vegetable. I cut it into little pieces like celery. I get my nonstick saucepan and I throw the rhubarb in there. I melt it. It melts, believe it or not. It melts into a jam, and I take the jam, pour it into a balls jar, add a little bit of sugar. Well, actually, you add in a couple tablespoons of sugar, swirl it around, and I'm good on rhubarb jam for about a week or so. And that's the easiest thing and the tastiest thing because I make rhubarb toast for breakfast every morning when the season is on.
Okay. Is it something that you can freeze if it's diced up? I
Um,
don't.
it's not a good idea to freeze. It dehydrates really bad and then the texture loses it. However, if you do what I say in regards to making the jelly or jam, you can freeze the jam. So I would recommend cooking it and then keeping the pulp or whatever you created in the freezer for longer storage. Not a lot of fruits and vegetables. There are a lot of fruits that store better in the freezer than vegetables. But my saying is fresh is always best.
Right, right. All right. So going down, I'm just going to show you sent me these organic plums.
Yes. And as you know, we are going to the tail end of the peak season for a lot of the tree fruit. Peaches, nectarines, plums, apricot season has already ended. Cherry season has just ended. However, the coolest thing about the tree fruit is that it's those plums that we'll have all the way until October. Our signature plum varieties are organic plum bites. You'll know when you buy the Melissa's organic plum bites that you're buying the best plums during that part of the season, because plums are a little different from the other tree fruit, because
Right.
it seems like every 2 weeks when you go into the store, sometimes they're yellow, sometimes they're red, sometimes they're deep purple. That is because when a plum tree is picked, the whole tree is picked. So literally every 2 to 3 weeks, a new variety becomes available. And whether the skin is a different color or the flesh color is a different color, Melissa's organic plum bites are the best, and you'll have them all the way through October. But act quick. Fall is coming up. Those peaches and nectarines, they're going to disappear from the stores come September, mid-September, and you're going to have to wait until the spring until we bring in some imported ones.
So September, October, what should we look forward to?
Well, we're gonna stop seeing a lot of the summer fruits, like the tree fruits, like the variety grapes. This is the best time of the year for grapes right now, actually. But we're going to start transitioning into some of the, oh yes, those are our Moscato grapes. Those are our signature grapes. They come in black, green, and red. What looks like, Dara, what looks like a regular table grape experience there. You'll notice how great the texture is, but the flavor, the sweetness, because we take those grapes and we cross what looks like a traditional grape with a Muscat wine grape, and hence the name Moscato grapes, and they're absolutely delicious during this time. But getting back to fall, we're going to be looking forward to a lot of the fall fruits, pomegranates, persimmons, quince, and this is the great time of the year for winter squashes, pears, apples, sweet potatoes / yams, whatever you want to call it. The fall produce is coming, so embrace the summer right now, and things will be changing after Labor Day in a few weeks. The produce departments will change.
All right, two things. You sent me jelly drop grapes.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Those are like my favorite grapes. The
And
jelly drops. Yes,
yeah,
go ahead.
no, we're going to talk about them real quick. But yams versus sweet potatoes. What's the difference? How do you tell the difference? Is there a difference?
Okay. Let's veer to the favorite roots of the fall season. Okay. What is botanically known as sweet potatoes? People on the East Coast, especially in the Southeast, they refer to them as yams. Here's the difference between the sweet potato and the yams, but the name is used interchangeably. Sweet potatoes have a thin skin you can actually eat. Sweet potatoes are actually sweet. Yams is a root vegetable we actually import in. They have a very thick skin and they are not sweet. However, in America, what we put in a can or what we sell in the store are botanically sweet potatoes. But if people in the Southeast, they call them yams or canned yams. It's a traditional ingredient of fall, and people make yam pies, or they make sweet potato pies, depending on the name. So in a name, they're the exact same thing, whether it's a jewel, a garnet, a bollgard, a Japanese, an Okinawan. The name yam and sweet potato is used interchangeably.
Okay, that answers my question. So if I'm not sure if I go like this to the skin and it scratches off, then it's a sweet potato.
Yes.
Okay. There's so much we can do, but what do you see the trends for 2025? Are there trends emerging in produce and fruit at the moment?
Well, yes. Organics continues to become very popular throughout the United States. As Melissa's is the largest variety supplier of organic produce, the organic produce that are found in produce departments across the country continue to widen and the varieties continue to become available. Melissa's offers over 350 different varieties of organic produce and distribute it throughout the United States. So organics is definitely a trend. The second trend is this luxury fruit category. I did mention a couple, but this has become very popular because of, it's really the chefs that do a great job of, because we do business not only in retail, we do business also on food service, especially in Southern California and in the Las Vegas area in particular. But we also have a unique distribution where we distribute our products into some of the nice stadiums like Yankee Stadium, Mets Stadium, 76ers and Flyers, the Dallas Cowboys, all of Las Vegas, including like the Raiders and the Golden Knights and a lot of the sporting venues, especially in Southern California, like the Dodgers and the Angels. We distribute into these. I'm a big fan of the Dodgers, by the way.
I figured as much.
We distribute into these nice white tablecloth restaurants where the culinary is really elevated, and the chefs are such a great spokesperson people to start food trends for the United States. And when we get in these new fruits and vegetables, whether it's like the pink elephant mangoes or the ruby glow pineapples or the pink glow pineapples, they're the ones that embrace it the first, want to sample and see how they can incorporate it onto their menu. So they're taking these new and unusual varieties and loving them. And then because of that, because of the awareness in the marketplace, people are now looking for this experience when they go shopping at the store. So here are some of the exciting ones that are coming up that I did not mention. And one of the ones we introduced last year are the K grapes. These are those Korean grapes. The original name is Muscat Shine, but Melissa calls them K grapes because they originated from South Korea. These grapes are about the size of a silver dollar. They're huge. They're like the size of a walnut. They're green. They look fake, like it's plastic, and it's probably one of the better grapes I've ever tasted. But I've never had a grape that is so big. Also, beyond that, we mentioned the crown melons. These are melons that are grown from Japan. They look like a cantaloupe. They cut more like a honeydew, but the flesh is kind of a yellowish green. It's a very rare fruit, and in Japan, they're commonly given as a gift for good luck and good fortune. There's a great story behind them and how when they grow them, they deplete the vine, but of one fruit, and it's believed that all the flavor, all of the nutrition goes into that one melon. Again, it's called the crown melon, and they're available from Melissa's as well. So look for them. But one of the big trends, and unfortunately they're seasonal, and these are these Japanese strawberries. The season starts up around the late holiday season and goes through the spring. These are those, Dara, you've probably seen them at some of the high-end stores in your area there, and I know the chefs in the marketplace are serving them as well. The Japanese strawberries are the strawberries that they look perfect. They come in red, white, and pink. You can get them in like a 12-pack, whether they're all pink, all white, or all bright red. They are simply delicious, as they look as good as they taste. And the neat thing is you can get them in red, white, and pink in all the same package, but you only get 12 of them, and usually the package is about $40. And we sell out every year because of the demand of these Japanese strawberries. Yeah.
Okay, quick question. I'm finding more and more of these tiny potatoes that are now microwavable. Why were they not microwavable before? Tell us a little bit more about like these little baby white and red potatoes.
Okay, so as you know, a russet potato is large. It's very starchy. It has a long cooking time. Typically, if you microwave a potato, a large size potato, it kind of cooks inconsistently. However, that's different when it comes to the baby potatoes. And I know what you're specifically referring to. Melissa's signature Dutch yellow potatoes, the little gold potatoes, they look like baby Yukon gold potatoes. So they're
Right.
small in size. You don't have to skin them. And because they're not as starchy, they actually are like buttery, in my opinion. They're smaller. You don't have to skin them, and they have a shorter cooking time. They will cook consistently in the microwave. So it's not like a secret or anything like that. It's just that people they traditionally like to boil their potatoes or bake their potatoes, but simply you can put them in the microwave, like a handful, a serving size, maybe about 6 or 7 small baby potatoes. Put them in the microwave for about 3 minutes, and bam, you have an instant side dish, as if you baked it for 40 minutes or grilled it out on the grill, or however, or boiled it for 20 minutes.
I love them.
The Dutch yellow potatoes and the red Dutch potatoes. We also do a purple or blue colored Dutch potato. The Dutch potatoes are our signature item, and they're one of the best selling baby potatoes in all of the United States. And because of shortcuts like that, and this is what chefs been doing for a long time, using potato varieties that have more flavor, that are not starchy, that have a shorter prep time because you don't have to skin them, and have a more elegant and more enjoyable side potato experience. So as you know, potatoes are the most popular vegetable in the United States. So it's good to know there's so many choices out there, different varieties, different colors. And that's a great way to get your kids to eat more produce, is by introducing colors. And that's definitely been a trend that I didn't mention earlier, that adding color, because of these different varieties of fruits and vegetables that are available in the marketplace, you're going to get your kids to eat a lot more produce.
Right. All right. Obviously we both can talk for quite a good time, but I want to come down to my final questions that I ask people. And you're the produce expert. And people, it's melissas.com. Their social is Melissa's Produce. So
Correct.
you can find it Instagram, Facebook, wherever. Give them a follow. Recipes, there's videos, everything you wanted to know. If you can't speak to Robert, then you can then at least go to the website and get your answers there. Final questions. If you wake up tomorrow with a new talent, what would it be?
I would want to be a chef. I am actually the chef at home, but I'm not a trained chef. I've been thinking about taking classes and becoming a formalized chef there. But one thing's for sure, I'm definitely a foodie, because I really think and prepare myself when I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I cook very often, every day, for my family. It's one of the responsibilities in my marriage that I've taken on, and I really enjoy it. And so definitely, I would want to be a chef as
Okay.
well.
All right. What's the best bite you've had all week?
So I mentioned at the beginning of the show, hatch chilies. I'm putting hatch chilies in like everything except my cereal and coffee. I'm putting hatch chilies in my tacos. I'm making a oh, I had a crab salad, a sandwich. It had hatch peppers in it there. But one of the most popular things I like to do with the hatch peppers that I've been eating all week is I take a flour tortilla, put cream cheese on it, put a roasted hatch pepper on top, a little garlic salt, roll it up. It's called a poor man's burrito. I think most people in the Southwest know it, but not everybody in the United States is. It's the easiest way to enjoy hatch chilies, straight up, with a tortilla and cream cheese. Those are the essential ingredients. No, the essential ingredient is the hatch pepper. And I eat a lot of hatch during this time, but I'm going to be careful, because when the season ends mid-September, I'm going to make sure I have enough hatch peppers in my freezer so I can pick them out and enjoy them the rest of the year.
Okay. Well, it leads me to my next question. What are two
Sure.
things that are a must in your refrigerator? A must.
Okay. I must have my hot sauce, and my favorite hot sauce is the Melissa's Costa Azul. It's actually one of our newer products that we introduced in the last 4 years. It is a sriracha type style hot sauce, and Melissa's offers it. It's a the peppers are out of Mexico. It's actually a red jalapeno. So you have to keep the jalapenos. Naturally jalapenos are green when you find them in the marketplace. They're very hard to find red because you have to keep them on the vine longer, and they not only get hotter, but they also get sweeter. And I love the sweet flavors that the jalapenos and also the burn, because I'm not a big chili head. I don't like eating the hot ones. So the Costa Azul is my favorite. But the other thing I always have to have in my refrigerator is bacon. Gotta have
Okay.
bacon.
All right. Your ultimate culinary fail.
Okay. So I love smoothies, and I love putting different things into smoothies, fruit that is. However, I tried putting spinach and other greens in a smoothie to make it healthier. Not going to do it ever again. You either love or hate it. It's like cilantro. You love it or you hate it. I love it. People hate it because it tastes like soap. But putting greens in what I consider a fruit shake, it doesn't work for me. I think it's healthy enough if I just put fruit in it and enjoy it that way. And that's how I'm going to do it.
If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self a piece of advice, what would it be?
When you go off to college, do something that you believe you're going to be passionate in. I knew I was going to be in the food industry, and I pursued that angle, and I haven't looked back. So, go to school, finish college, to get your degree in what you believe your passion is going to be in. Definitely.
I have to say, so many people I've had on the show have had other college careers or BAs, masters in something totally different than the food, and they ended up in food. All right. What didn't I ask you that I probably should have?
Oh, yes. So, over the last 28 years, with my team of chefs, I've co-authored 7 cookbooks with Melissa's, and the cookbook is a great marketing piece in educating America on the exciting world of produce. And every so many years we put out a new cookbook, and you can go to melissas.com or look at your local culinary food section or online, and you'll be able to see some of our books. But right now, the trending book right now is our Hatch Pepper Cookbook. We've actually done 2 Hatch Pepper cookbooks. The newest one has over 100 and some recipes. I've never seen, our first book has 150 recipes. So we have over 250 recipes that you can get in our cookbook. If you go to our website at melissas.com, there's another 20, 30 extra recipes on our website. You won't believe what the Hatch pepper can be cooked with, how well it pairs with not only a cocktail and drinks, but also with desserts. It pairs so well with chocolate. So, kind of proud of doing these 7 produce-based cookbooks. I mean, they're not vegan or vegetarian. There are recipes that are vegan, vegetarian, but all of Melissa's cookbooks are for omnivores. So,
okay, got it.
yeah.
I want to thank you so much, Robert, for joining us. And maybe down the road, when we hit another season and there's new produce to look at, we'll do another show and bring people up to date. I have thoroughly enjoyed this, both speaking to you and consuming the grapes while we're talking. I couldn't resist. They're so good. They're so good. So wishing you all the best. Thank you again for joining us. And I have a couple comments to make about next week's guest and some follow-up, and wish you a great weekend. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, Dara, for having me on.
All righty. Okay, everyone. We're just reaching because I'm very spread out here with the fruit and everything. Next week's guest is Chef Alina Eisenhower, a baker who focuses in on gluten-free baking secrets, tips, and tricks. Chef Alina Eisenhower is an award-winning chef who has appeared numerous times on the Food Network and has been featured in many publications. 20 years ago, Chef Alina began making a name for herself and winning awards as a traditional bread baker, pastry chef, and owner of the Sturbridge Baking Company and Sweet Kitchen and Bar. So be sure to tune in. Always feel free to reach out to me. My email is food@jamerliving.com. My Instagram is @DaraCooks. On Facebook, I have a page called the Food Enthusiast. Give everything a follow. All shows are immediately archived in video form as soon as the show is over on Jay Moore's Facebook page and jaymoreliving.com. We truly appreciate it when you share our show with friends and family. Feel free to go back into our archives and enjoy past shows. May your plates always remain full. I hope to see you next Thursday.